After 20 years of marriage, I thought I knew everything about my wife, until a single condom I found in our car made me question everything: our love, our loyalty, and our entire life together. Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. After 20 years of marriage, you don't expect something as simple as betrayal to shatter your life? Sure, I'd heard of others going through it, but it never really hit close to home. I used to feel lucky, relieved even. When Claire and I were young, long before our son came along, I was the jealous type. Anyone who so much as glanced at her had me on edge. She was breathtaking, smart, funny, and beautiful, with this fiery sparkle in her eyes that could light up a room. But over time, Clara became the textbook example of a perfect wife. I had no reason to be jealous anymore. I finally breathed easy. I figured if I hadn't strayed in my 20s, I definitely wasn't going to start now, pushing 50. In September, we celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. It felt like we had crossed some finish line. Our son Noah was grown up now, in university, working part-time and putting some distance between us, which was bittersweet. But for Clara and me, it felt like the start of something new. A second honeymoon, maybe. I still looked at her with admiration. She hadn't lost that spark. Still curvy, still stunning. I never understood couples who lost intimacy over time. That wasn't us. Dad, I need the car tomorrow, Noah said, snapping me out of my thoughts. Why? I asked. Just need it for work. All right. Let your mom know and make sure she doesn't have plans. Weren't you going to take it in for a checkup next week? We had two cars, my personal ride and the family car, which Clara mostly used. Lately, Noah had been borrowing it more often. I assumed maybe he was seeing someone. After all, he was young. A week later, I was in line at the inspection center, annoyed and sifting through the cluttered glove compartment for the car documents. Both Clara and Noah had said they were in there, but I hadn't checked. That's when something fell out. I barely noticed it until I reached down and realized I'd picked up a condom. I chuckled, tossing it back in the compartment, figuring Noah had been getting up to something. But when I looked under the seat, I found an empty wrapper, too. I tossed that out, shook my head, and made a mental note to talk to him about cleaning up. That evening, over dinner, I brought it up. Guess what I found today? I said with a smirk. Our son's been using the car for more than just driving. What do you mean? Clara asked, looking up. You know, getting busy like we did back in the day. I grinned. Found condoms in the glove box. Clara nearly choked on her food, reaching for a glass of water. Don't dwell on it, I added quickly. You think so? She said, eyes darting. Yeah, probably nothing. He's young, maybe embarrassed. Could have been a one-off. I let it go. Until a week later. Clara called me to say her tire had gone flat and the car was being towed. I went to pick her up and, just out of curiosity, checked the glove box again. Nothing. The condoms were gone. Later that night, when Noah stayed home, I casually brought it up. Hey, son, you and your girlfriend still together? Which one? He said, confused. You have more than one? I chuckled. I don't have a girlfriend, Dad. What's this about? Well, I found a condom wrapper in the car. Figured you forgot it under the seat. His face froze. I never keep them in the car, he said slowly. They're always on me, just in case. That silence said everything. Number it couldn't be? Clara? But it was. That night, I confronted her. Who is he? I asked, not even waiting for Noah to leave the room. What? Your lover. Who is he? She broke. Tears poured as if the weight of 20 years collapsed on her shoulders. Ethan, our new staff. I've been supervising him for 2 months. We visit clients together. I don't know how it happened. It was only twice. It didn't mean anything, just for fun. Her words crushed me. I didn't go home for weeks after that. I needed time. Time to think, to breathe. 20 years, gone, just like that. When I finally returned to pick up my things, Clara barely looked up. Does Noah live with you now? She asked. Number he's renting. She didn't press further, and I didn't offer. I knew Noah didn't want to talk to her. And honestly, I didn't blame him. She was his mom, sure. But that didn't excuse what she did. In one careless move, Clara destroyed everything we had. And now, even her own son wanted nothing to do with her. It had been 3 weeks since I moved out of the house. 3 weeks since Clara confessed to cheating. 3 weeks since I started sleeping in a small apartment across town, just trying to piece my life back together. Clara had tried calling a few times, texted even, but I left every message on read. I had nothing to say. At least, not yet. But it wasn't just the betrayal that haunted me. It was the silence that followed, the numbness, the feeling that the woman I had built my life with was suddenly a stranger. Noah was the only person I still spoke to. He was angry, hurt, maybe more than I was. I could see it in his eyes every time Clara's name came up. One evening, Noah came over. He'd brought some groceries and asked if he could stay the night, said his apartment was being fumigated. We sat down to eat, and after a long pause, he looked up at me. Dad, he said quietly, there's something I need to tell you. Something I found out. I raised an eyebrow. What is it? He hesitated. It's about Ethan, the guy mom. You know. Yeah, I said stiffly. What about him? He reached into his backpack and pulled out a small notebook. It was old, worn, and the corners were frayed. He opened it to a page with scribbled notes and a printout folded inside. I did some digging, he said. Don't ask me why. I just needed to know who the hell this guy was. And I found something. He slid the printout across the table. It was a criminal background check. Ethan Cole, alias Emmanuel Adams, charged twice for fraud. Once for identity theft. I stared at the page, my heart pounding. Why would Mom get involved with someone like this, I asked, more to myself than to Noah. She doesn't know, he replied. I don't think she has a clue. Noah's hands clenched. He's not just some fling, Dad. He's playing her. Maybe scamming her. Maybe worse. The rage that had been simmering in my chest for weeks erupted. I need to talk to her, I said, rising from my seat. Dad, wait, Noah said quickly. That's not all. He pulled out a second folded paper. I went through her emails. She left her work laptop open when I stopped by the house to grab my stuff. Look at this. It was a forwarded email, a bank transaction. Large sum transferred from Clara's personal savings to a new joint account, her name, and Ethan's. My head spun. Joint account? I echoed. You've got to be kidding me. No, Dad, I think she's in deeper than she even realizes. I felt sick. She hadn't just betrayed me, she'd let this man into her life, into her finances, into everything. I could have ignored the affair, walked away with my pride intact. But this was different. The next morning, I showed up at our old house unannounced. Clara opened the door looking tired and pale as if she hadn't slept in days. Matthew, she whispered. We need to talk, I said coldly. Now. I stepped inside, gripping the papers in my pocket. You remember telling me it was just 2 times? Just for fun? She nodded slowly, eyes already welling up. Well, turns out your fun might be a con artist. His real name is Emmanuel Adams. Fraud charges, identity theft, and guess what else? He has access to a joint account with your name on it. Her knees buckled, and she dropped onto the couch. Number. That can't be. It is, I snapped. And if you don't do something about it, fast, you're going to lose more than a marriage. You'll lose everything. Clara broke down, sobbing into her hands. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I stood there for a long time, watching the woman I once adored fall apart piece by piece. Part of me still wanted to protect her, but a bigger part of me just wanted to walk away, for good this time. Clara didn't say much after I dropped the truth on her. She just sat there, pale, shaking, sobbing like a child caught in something way bigger than she could handle. I stood silently for a moment, then dropped the documents on the coffee table. I hope you have a lawyer, I said coldly. Because you're going to need one. I walked out of that house for the last time, or so I thought. Later that night, Noah called me. Dad, he's been texting me. Who? Ethan? Yeah, or Emmanuel, whatever his real name is. He said he wants to talk. What? Why would he reach out to you? I don't know. Maybe he thinks I'm an easier target than you. Maybe he wants to scare me off. Noah sent me a screenshot. We need to talk, Noah, man to man. Don't make the same mistake your dad did. I clenched my jaw. Now it was personal. The next day, Clara called me again. She sounded like she hadn't slept at all. Matthew Hunt, he's gone. I went to the office and he didn't show up. His number's off. The bank says the account is empty. Everything's gone. I said nothing. I'm sorry. I was stupid. I I don't know what I was thinking. You were thinking about yourself, I snapped. And now he's coming after our son. I met up with Noah that evening. We sat in his apartment trying to piece things together. You think he wants money? Noah asked. Maybe. Or maybe he's just trying to manipulate you. Use guilt, sympathy, confusion. That's how cons work. Should we go to the police? We will, but first, I want to draw him out. I knew it was risky, but I needed answers. We had Noah respond. Fine, let's talk, but not over messages. You pick the place. 2 hours later, he replied, tomorrow, 9 p.m., East Side Diner, alone. I wasn't letting my son go anywhere near that man alone. We made a plan. The diner was quiet, a few old men sipping coffee, a waitress wiping down tables, and in the far booth, him. Slick, confident, like he owned the place. Ethan Emmanuel looked up as Noah walked in. Didn't think you'd come, he said with a smirk. Figured your dad would shut it down. I want to know what you want, Noah replied. Emmanuel leaned back, grinning. I want you to understand your mother's not the villain here. She was just bored, lonely. Your father? He checked out a long time ago. At that moment, I stepped out from behind the hallway near the kitchen. You've got a lot to say for a guy running from the law. He stiffened. Hello, Matthew. You used my wife. You stole her money. And now you're threatening my son. You're going to regret every single part of that. Just then, 2 officers stepped in behind me. Noah had tipped them off before coming. Emmanuel tried to bolt, but he didn't get far. The officers were on him in seconds, cuffing him right there in the diner. As they dragged him out, he turned back with a crooked smile. She still misses me, you know. I wanted to hit him, but instead, I looked him dead in the eyes. She won't, once she realizes what rock bottom really feels like. Back at the apartment, Noah sat quietly for a while. You think she'll be okay? He asked. I don't know, I said honestly. But I know we will. Because despite the betrayal, despite the hurt, I had my son. And that was something Clara almost threw away, chasing a lie. 3 weeks had passed since Emmanuel was arrested at the diner. The police found enough evidence on his laptop and phone to charge him with multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and even blackmail. Clara had unknowingly helped him launder thousands, some of it even transferred from her company's clients. It didn't take long for her employer to find out. She was suspended pending investigation, and just like that, her career, 20 years of hard work, was on the line. I won't lie. A part of me wanted to feel sorry for her. Clara wasn't evil, she was just foolish. But sometimes foolishness has a price. She called me one evening. Can we talk? She asked. Her voice was soft, broken. We met at a small park, the same place we used to bring Noah when he was little. She looked tired, like someone who hadn't slept in days. I lost the job, she said, not bothering to sugarcoat it. The police are still questioning me. They say I might have to testify. I nodded, staying quiet. I don't even care about the job, she whispered. I just want my son to speak to me again. I looked at her for a long moment. Clara, he's angry. Not just because you cheated, but because you let someone dangerous into his life. Into our lives? She broke down crying. I was so lonely, Matt. I thought maybe I'd lost you, that we were just coasting. I wasn't thinking. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But you did, I said firmly. You hurt everyone, and it's going to take a lot more than tears to fix that. That weekend, Noah came over. She wants to see me, he said flatly. You don't have to if you're not ready, I replied. I'm not, but I think she needs to hear something from me. He agreed to meet her. I offered to drive him, but waited in the car. They sat on a bench outside her apartment. I watched from a distance. Clara reached for his hand. He didn't take it. They talked for nearly half an hour. And though I couldn't hear what was said, I saw the tears. And I saw her nodding, then pulling back, giving him space. He got in the car, quiet. Well, I asked. She knows it's over, he said. She knows what she did. And maybe one day I'll forgive her, but not now. That was enough for me. Months passed. Clara avoided jail time by cooperating with authorities and testifying against Emmanuel. The courts believed she'd been manipulated, and because she came clean early, she was granted leniency. But her reputation, her relationships, her peace, all shattered. As for me and Noah, we moved forward. I got a better apartment. Noah transferred to a different campus focused on work and healing. The wounds were still there, but they were finally starting to close. And Clara? Well, she sent a birthday card. And that was it. Sometimes people we love make choices we can't walk back from. And sometimes love just isn't enough to fix what's been broken. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss another story. Thank you for sticking with us through this emotional journey. See you in the next one. Thanks.